Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be giving you a full toolkit full of knowledge on how to draw flowers. I'm going to teach you step by step how to draw the centers, petals, and veins, and then how to be able to take them and put them together. And my goal is to give you tons of different variations on how to draw your own flowers on your own. If you haven't already checked out my leaf video, I have a video on how you can do 9 different leaves and how you can change it up to make them look completely different, as well as making a wreath. This is a separate video. So today we are going to learn about some very, very simple flower doodles. Let's talk about the center part of the flower. So first, I'm gonna do kind of 2 different styles, more of your like cartoony doodly style and then more of one of your natural looking styles. So the first center of the flower. So first we're going to have just a very small circle. Now there's tons of ways to vary it up and change the centers as well as the petals, and that's kind of what I'm going to show you so that you can make a ton of different floral styles. So this is one size, and the next size is about this, and really, again, like I said, you can make it however you want. This is like a medium size, and then some flowers have a larger center, and it's okay if the circle is not perfect. Now that's more of your doodle style. The next style I'm going to show you is more of a natural style, and how I make it more natural is by just adding like a little bit of a shake to the pen. So I'm just going to kind of wiggle it around a little bit, and you can see it's not a perfect circle. Well, not that that was a perfect circle to begin with, but we're just going to give it a little bit of character. And then the last one. So this is just an idea, like when I'm thinking of a flower and how do you change it up if I'm drawing a bunch of flowers, I change the center of the flower, and that can really make it look like a totally different flower. Okay, so next, petals. We're gonna work on the petals. And with this too, I have 2 different styles just like this, more of a doodle style and then more of a realistic style. So the first petal we're gonna do is, I'm only gonna draw one of each petal and then I will put it together in the end. We're going to do that small C curve, and then we're gonna do it on the other side. And I'm sure you guys have all, I think we've all drawn flowers like with these style of petals before. And then the next one is also very common. Just like that. And also where I'm leaving it blank, we're pretending like we have drawn that center. And that's why it's not filled in right there. Okay, and then this next one is like more of a circular petal. And so this one is a little bit different from this one. It looks similar, but we're doing more of like a teardrop shape. So we're coming back in and up to a point instead of just coming straight to the point. So we're going to do the same thing on this side, come out and then back into a point. And then the last petal shape that we're going to do, we're going to start here and we're going to come out. It's going to have rounded edges, but then a flat tip of the petal. Okay, so that's the doodle style. And then the more natural style, again, all I'm doing is just wiggling my pen when I'm doing this. So we're going to start here and then kind of just wiggle it a little bit, come up. And it might be difficult to see now since I'm only drawing the petal. and around. And again, just adding a little wiggle. But when you put it all together, you will be able to see how it looks. Okay, so again, you can pick which style you like, but if you master these 5 petals and then these different variations of the centers, you have already right there a ton of different flowers that you can make. Okay, so besides just what I've shown you there, you have a lot of things in your toolkit that you can use to make a flower. Now I'm going to show you even different ways to change the petal to give you even more styles. Okay, so let's just do our basic petal like this. Okay, so you can always make it wider and you can always make it taller too. So let's start with wider. So obviously this is larger too. And then here, let's do one that's taller and skinnier. And I like making flowers that don't necessarily have names, but more so just whatever style I'm feeling at the time. So as you can see, just by making it wider and then taller, it changes and it will give you a completely different flower. Okay, so I'm going to flip to the next page and I'm going to use these petals to show you how the flowers can look different. And I'll just use the same center just so you can see how different it looks. Okay, so I'm going to start with just the medium center. And I am going to do it more of the natural look, so I'm just going to give just a little shake. And we're going to start with this petal right here. And then I'll do this size petal, and then I'll do the skinnier petal. Again, with each of them, just adding a little bit of a shake to it. So we'll start here, and I never plan out how many petals will fit in, or I don't ever plan that out. And sometimes the petals end up a little bigger and sometimes smaller, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we are going to continue with the medium center, and we're going to add a little bit. So we're going to make the petals a little bit wider now. Still giving a little bit of a shake. Now here, you're probably not going to be able to fit in as many petals because they're wider. So I'll show you how to make it look more like a flower in just a bit. Now we're going to make the skinny petals. So here you'll likely be able to have a lot more petals. And again, just adding a little bit of a wiggle when you're making your petals. And they all don't have to be perfect. Okay, so now how do you add petals in the back to give it more depth and dimension? So I like to add it in the empty spots. So here, and I'm gonna keep it the same size. So I'm gonna keep it the same size petal and just fill in those empty spots. Still giving a little wiggle. Okay, and here again, same size petal, I'm gonna fill in the gap. Now, these are obviously very symmetrical flowers, so you don't have to make your flowers symmetrical like mine. Like this one isn't quite as symmetrical because I made this petal a little bit bigger. But again, we're gonna fill in the empty spaces. And you can go beyond just 1 or 2 layers of petals. You can do more than that and add to it. Like I feel like right here is a little bit blank. I can add a little bit more. But what I don't want to do is to create really tall petals and come out a lot further. I kind of want to keep it all within the same area. So just if you see that there's a blank spot, you can continue and finish. So as you can see, just by changing the size of the petal, you create very different looking flowers. So now, again, I keep calling this like your toolkit because I feel like it is. You can go back and look at it and decide, okay, I'm going to make a different flower. So this time I'm going to choose, let's see, this time I will choose the bigger center, and I'm going to choose this style of petal. And then which size petal am I going to go, you know, skinny, medium, or wide. So I'm just going to do like the regular size for that. So this is what I want you guys to see, is that you guys can make your own style of flowers. Just by looking at all these, you have so many different variations of what you can choose from. So we will do this one, and I will do it with you so you guys can see. So I'm going to do a larger center. And I'm just going to do the regular size of this style petal. And now when you do petals also, you don't have to go in one continuous direction. Like I don't have to go here and then here and then here. So for this one, I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to do the opposite side petal. Kind of looks like a bow right now, but we're going to fill that in. And I'm going to start here. It really doesn't matter, but what you can do instead of coming all the way back down is I can come and stop right here. Again, because florals are not always symmetrical, so you don't have to make them look the same all the way around. It's okay if it's different all the way around. So this one, I will come down here, and now I'm going to fill it in, and I'm not going to make really large petals back here. I'm gonna just have the tip of the petal kind of peeking out. Oops. I'm sticking to the same style. And I'm going to add just a little bit more petals around. And like I said, it really can feel like you're going on and on and on with this. So you just have to kind of find a good place to stop. Okay, now I think that's good. Maybe one more right here. So another way that you can make this flower come to life is by adding in details in the middle. So what I like to do is add, I call them veins. So when you think of a vein, you do not want to just make straight lines, just completely straight, because that's not how we see the veins on a flower. We see them slightly curved depending on which way the petal is curved. So I like to kind of follow the shape of the petal. So I'm gonna do, and I also vary the size, starting from the middle and then just coming out. And I'm not doing, as you can see, I'm not doing a really harsh line. I'm kind of tapering out. Just like that. And I'm going to do that on all of the petals. See, from this side I work with the curve of the outside of the petal, and then as I get closer toward the middle, then I work toward the other curve this side. So I'm matching more of this side of the petal. And then also, to make it more realistic, I like to add some veins coming down from the top of the petal as well. And I try to do that where there's a little dip in the petal. So like right here, there's a little dip, and I add like a couple. And again, you always want to vary it up with the size. Same here. And sometimes there's not a clear concrete place of where it dips down. So if I just see a gap, then I'll just add it there. Again, working with the curve of the nearest outside petal. I'm gonna turn it. It's always easier for me to turn it. It's easier for me to turn it and pull the veins to me instead of pushing out like that. So okay. And now you also can't leave, well, I don't like to leave the outside petals blank either. I like to give them a little bit of detail. So I'm going to just add some veins at the top. And then if I do have some pretty decent sized gaps, I can add some vein in there too, coming up from the bottom. So again, you don't have to do this. This is just fills it in a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of more veins toward the center to give it more depth and darkness right in the middle to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Okay, and that's our flower. So with any of these, you can add in the veins. Like in this one, you can add in the veins too to give it more depth, or you can just leave it plain just like that. And like I said too, if you prefer to not do the natural style, you can just go back and use these petals that don't have any of the wiggles, and then you'll get more of the doodle style. Make sure to be on the lookout for the next video where we will put all these things together to make a floral wreath. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.